This conference will now be recorded.
So welcome once again, guys. This is Shant on behalf of Oribisis. So we'll be discussing what is Flask for the day, and this may be a useful session in case you are trying to write any AI specific application project. So you may need some UI interface to interact with your AI algorithms. So here, Flask is a framework. So I'll say it's a framework to create lightweight web applications in Python, right? So we do have a desktop based app. For example, we did see that with the help of Kinter. But if you want to go with a lightweight web application in Python, you can use Flask. And we do have one more framework called Django. But once again, right, that's going to be a very different part for our discussion. So you should know what is HTML and what is Python, and of course, I'll introduce few HTTP request response flow today. In the documentation, you can follow this link where you have the documentation available for the Flask. If you see, right, so here you are with the documentation. So this documentation can take you to more better understanding on what we can do while creating your web applications. Okay, so this is the entire documentation. Now this is once again a framework in itself, a library in itself. So we need to run the command pip install Flask. So that's the command to install the Flask in your system, right? So you just say pip install Flask. So it's not a problem to install Flask the way you would have received the problems with respect to the TensorFlow or the PyTorch, right? So the next thing is what here? We need to understand how the web applications they work, right? So we have something known as a machine, a computer, and on this machine there is a server software installed on top of OS, right? So this guy is your server software. So server software is installed and this guy is going to work on some particular port number, right? This is a machine. So assuming that we are connected to the internet, right? So there is this cloud here. So this cloud represents the internet for us. So you are somewhere connected to this internet. So once you are connected to the internet, right? So you will be having some IP address. So this machine is going to have some IP address, right? So this IP address can be any number. We are just considering some number here as of now. Now server software or any application which is running on your OS on the machine on the hardware, right? It is going to have a port number. Let me show you how. So I'll open my activity monitor here. So what you see is this GoToMeeting is as of now running, and this is having this CPU information, right? So it has time, threads, process ID, user. When you go to the memory level, you see it has a port here. So the same app here and there you have to find it, right? But every software or application running here and there has a port number associated. If you see here, guys, right? So we assume that okay, this guy has a port number 5001. So if you want to access this server software, so you need to use a socket. Socket is going to be a combination. So socket is going to be a combination where it is IP address plus the port number. So it's gonna be like 198.0.0.1 colon 5001. This is going to be the combination with the help of which you can access your server software. So it means what? Let us say that there is a client machine. There is a client machine, and in this client machine, what I have is, I'll just write down that this is your server machine. This is client machine. The laptops, you can just say they are the laptops, right? And in the client machine, you are working on the Google Chrome, right? You are opening up this application called Google Chrome. So you are opening a web browser basically. So this is a web browser application which you are using. Now in this URL, we need to just come up and say 198.0.0.1 colon 5001, and this request goes over the hypertext transfer protocol, maybe HTTP, maybe HTTPS, right? HTTP is not secure, HTTPS is secure. Now this request will go over here to the internet. This guy is gonna do some resolutions that, okay, I have to take this request and give it to this fellow. And now this fellow in response, right, is going to give me some data. So on the server software, what we can do is we can create our applications, right? So here we can have our applications. So there may be these small Python, you can say, projects which you can actually make to run on the server software, right? So these are what? These are our Python apps. So your Python apps, they are running on the server software. So in your web browser, you need to give a reference. Okay, I want to access or execute this Python app. So server software is gonna do the needful for you. So for every request, there will be a particular response. So you got this request, and for the particular request, you will get a particular response. And this request response happens over the HTTP protocol. So we got this HTTP protocol, and you will get this request and response as two things over the web part. So guys, can I get a smiley here? Are we good to go with this part? So for our machine, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my same machine to be the client and to be the server. So the IP address will be 127.0.0.1. That's like your local host, right? So I want my same machine to be serving as server, right? We don't have any XYZ machine to serve as server, so that is the reason why I'm going to make the same machine as server. So let us now see how we can write our very first Flask application. So in order to write a Flask application, so you need to use this from Flask import Flask. So you import this class Flask and you create an application. Now this is what you are going to create an application. So I'll say application is the Flask. In the Flask, I'm going to say underscore underscore name underscore underscore. So guys, what is the value of underscore underscore name underscore underscore? What is the value for underscore underscore name underscore underscore? Exactly. So it's gonna be main, right? So you created an app with the name as main. So this is the Python app, right? So creating a Python app, running on Flask server. Now the next thing is, in case, so if the name is equal to main, we are going to say app.run. So we're going to execute this app. That is, let the app run on Flask server over here. So when I'm saying this server software is a Flask server software, so your app is going to run on this server software. Now when the app is going to run, right, so what it should come up and display. So I'm going to say define the home. So there is a function called home. It is going to return me a string, right, or a message. Let's say that there is a message which is a string basically. So it goes like search the candle rather than cursing the darkness. So this is the message which I would like to return. Okay, so I create a function which is define home, and this message will be returned. The next thing is, I'm going to use @app.route. So what is this route here? So guys, if you can recall, we did something known as decorator in Python, right? So @app.route is basically working as a decorator for us, and I'm going to put this decorator as value slash. Now what this slash means? Slash means by default, when you are going to execute this application, your server is going to execute the function home. So in my app, if I'm going to execute this Python app on my server software, and if I will send this request, so it will by default execute this function called home. So that's like your root. So let's do right click and run this program here. So it says Flask app session 63, right? Moving ahead, we got this running on 127.0.0.1 colon 5000. Let me click on this. So I'll say control click and it's gonna launch this over my web browser. So it says search the candle rather than cursing the darkness. If you put a slash in the end, hit enter, you get the same response. This is a kind of a home page which we created, guys. Can I get a smiley here? So the very basic introduction, the first part, what is Flask? All right, so it means that if I will not say slash here, rather than slash, if I'll say slash home or any other name of your choice, right? Let me stop this application. So you need to stop this application and then you need to rerun the application, okay? So now what you see is it says the requested URL was not found on the server. There is nothing like a slash, but there is something like slash home. Guys, I hope this is clear to everyone. So when I use this slash, you actually went to the home, I mean to the root automatically, but when I said slash home, so now there's nothing in the slash. You need to just go and say slash home. So this is known as your app routing. Okay, so what we are doing is we are using this app.route. So this particular feature in Flask is known as app routing. So how you will route on the URLs, routing the outputs for different URLs. All right, now if there may be something known as define @app.route. So let us try to create some other guy called let's say quote and slash, I'll say something like name. Okay, so this is like I'll change the function name, of course, right? So that previous function was giving me this message. So here I'm going to return back some code. So this is going to be work hard, get luckier. So as of now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of what I'm doing is kind of you can say creating a function and defining some URL pattern here. Okay. Now I got this name written here, so I'm going to say work hard, get luckier, and we'll just say plus this name, or we'll just kind of say dear and a dash here dot format the name. And this code should take one input as name. Okay, so now what will happen if someone will hit slash quote, you have to also give me the value of the name. That name goes as an input to this code function, and we process that name here in the string. So let us stop this application and now try to rerun the program and see what's going to happen now. So here nothing found on the home, there is nothing in the home, but when I say slash home, you get to see a quote, and when I say slash quote, hit enter, so it's not found. So with the quote you need to give a name, for example slash John. So it says dear John, work hard, get luckier. So guys, this is a very quick introduction to what is meant by app routing. So how you are routing in the app, right? So on the basis of different URLs. So I can even say define, let's say define welcome, and there is this message which is now a kind of an HTML message, right? So this is an HTML slash HTML. So we got a body, HTML body here, and a slash body here. So remember, when you are talking about web applications, we're talking about a protocol called HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, right? So you are either returning back the text or the HTML. So you can return two different things, either the text or the HTML over your HTTP protocol. So when I'm saying this part here, so this request and response happens either the text or the HTML. So this you need to always remember, right? So request response happening as text or HTML. So in the body here, I'll write a center tag and another center tag to close it. So we'll put some H3 as heading, closing this H3 heading. Welcome to Oribisis, right? Now this is going to be the home. So let's now stop the application and rerun the program. So in my Python app, it says welcome to Oribisis. So you need to come up and say slash home, search the camera rather than cursing the darkness, slash code slash Fiona. So dear Fiona, work hard, get luckier. A smiley waited from all of you in case we are good to go with what is happening across the app routing, and it is clear to everyone. Wonderful, guys. Thank you so very much. Thank you. So let us see some. Okay, so Roopkaval says many times app.run didn't work for me, so I had to use Waitress to serve the app. Is it a problem? So no, Roopkaval, there may be something here and there as an error, maybe, but it won't be a concern at all. So sometimes what we do is when we are executing this application, so we can say app.run and we can pass the debug to go as true, right? So when you enable the debugging, so enable debugging for the errors. So this we can do in case you would like to come up and evaluate what are the errors or the other things you are getting. So I'll code one more program here. So I'm going to write another Python file. Let us say this is session 63A. Guys, every time you create this Flask program, your Python program is basically acting as your Flask application. Okay. So what if I say name is LMS? If you see, app is Flask with the title as LMS. So in the LMS, in the learning management system, which LMS means here as the learning management system. So I'm just going to say your app.run, and let us say that the debug is going to be true for me. So I'm going to create something which is sort of users in the LMS, right? There may be a different kind of users in the learning management system. So if you run in the if you are using some portal, right? So there may be different roles. Since you may be using these LMS portals in your colleges or the universities, for an example, right? So we may have multiple roles for a learning management system. So we can define the roles here. So roles, there may be a student is logging in, there may be a teacher logs in, right? There may be a parent logs in, right? So let us say that there are three of these things: student is there, teacher is there, and a parent is there, and there may be an administration. So there may be some admin department, right, who manages the entire LMS. So I'll just come here and define these various functions according to the rules. So define a function called student, and when the student logs in, so I'm gonna return one HTML page. I'm gonna kind of return one HTML part here. So this is the message, and what I will do is I will take down this message in a very different way. If you see now, so this is how you wrote your HTML part, guys, right? So multi-line string which I'm going to use. So welcome to LMS. This is the first part, and I will also give one small break here. So this is my HTML. So here I will say in my H4, dear student, please log in below. And here I will create one HTML form. Okay, so there will be some input type. which is going to be let's say text, and the placeholder goes like enter your email, and there may be input type as the password. Placeholder goes like enter your password, and there may be a last type as input type submit, and I'm gonna say value is login. So I got this HTML. This is one HTML web page which I created here, right? And I got a form here with some two input fields. One is for the email, another one for the password, and a button here. Okay, so guys, moving up, I'll just say return this HTML. Okay, so you return back this HTML, and for the student here, I'm just going to say my app routing. So my app dot route is going to be for slash student. Okay, so this is what is my student as login. So there may be teacher as login. So here I'm going to say dear teacher, please log in. For teacher to log in, right, I'm going to ask one OTP. So enter OTP, one time password, right? So teacher, there is one extra level of security, right? So we got some OTP coming here, and the route is going to be for the teacher, right? Then there may be a parent. So for parent, we don't want to come up and do some login, right? So I'll define this function parent here. So I don't want any form here. So there may be some news which you would like to display. So I'll just put everything seems good. Thank you for connecting with us, right? So this is what I got for the parent. Now lastly, I got this admin. So what you are able to see, guys, we are having these various app routings and these functions coming up for us, right? So student function returns an HTML, which is a different HTML than the teacher, than the parent, and similarly admin, we have a different HTML. So for admin also, I'll use the same HTML which teacher is going to use. So dear admin, please log in below, right? And for admin, I'm going to take one more input, let's say the phone number, or let's say I'll take one CAPTCHA as input. Something like this, right? So can I get a smiley here? Are we clear till here, guys? What is this Flask? What we are doing here? So for the user, right, there is a function called user now, which is going to take the input as type. The function is going to take input as type, and the app dot route is going to be your slash. If you can see, we did the same part here, slash code slash name, right? Like this. So I'm just going to say a slash with some type. So the root for me is nothing. So either will be making the user to log in as student or teacher or the parent or the admin, right? So for this, what I'm doing is I'm going to say slash type. So let the user belong to some type. Now I'm going to come here and say, in case this type is equal to what? If it is equal to a student, so this is like your student here, then what I need to do, I need to say return me, so redirect the URL. So I'll just say from class import all now, so redirect I think the API would have been okay. So here we are. So URL for the student, right? So in case the type is student, so please redirect to the student. Same way we have the other parts which we have to discuss here. So in case elif, then another elif, another elif. So if the type is student, the type is teacher, if the type is parent, redirect to the parent, type is admin, redirect to the admin. And if there is no type, in the case of else, I'm going to say return invalid request. So I hope this is clear now. Let's try to run this program and see how it's gonna work for us. So this is like debugger is active now, and your application debugging shall start, right? So this is like nothing will be found on the home. So you need to give me what role you want, right? So I said anything. It says invalid request. I says teacher/teacher. So welcome to LMS, dear teacher, please log in, enter email, password, OTP, login. Slash a parent. So welcome to LMS, everything seems good, thank you for connecting with us. Slash student slash admin. So I hope you would have enjoyed this part. It is clear to everyone that what is meant by app routing. So in your web application, you can have multiple URLs to go from here and there. But of course, yes, we would try to be more impactful if we do some clicks on the web application rather than in the URLs, right? For example, if you click on the login, something happened, right? That you are going to redirect something to somewhere. So that is also one part, but we'll see that in our upcoming times, guys. So anyone with any query here, guys? I hope till here we are all good to go. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much for your kind acknowledgements. So this is your Flask part 1, right, where we have introduced how we can work on app routing. So tomorrow what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain you how you can create the HTML templates and how you can work on the request objects. Okay. So for the HTML templates, I can even go today. So just give me a moment. So in my project here, so I'll create one new directory and I will name this as templates. Okay, so this is templates as my folder. In the templates folder, I'm going to just create this new HTML file. So a new file, let's say student.html. In the student.html, I'll put this HTML code here. So this is my HTML code which I am putting up here. So I created a folder called templates. In the templates, we created one HTML page, and I'm just formatting this HTML web page. So I can come here and say email, password, and for every of this, I'm going to use one break statement. Okay. So this is how it's gonna be a web page for us. So in the templates, what I did, I created this web page in the folder called templates, student.html. In my session 63A, so in case someone's gonna request for the student, what I will do is I will say return, and I'm going to say render underscore the template. Which template? The template called student.html. Now your Flask application looks for these HTML web pages or the templates in the directory called templates. So this directory name cannot be different. So you need to create the templates directory and you need to place this HTML page. So if you don't want to create the HTML code in this manner, you can write a separate HTML web page and thereafter you can return that HTML template from here itself. So let me once again run this program. So let us run this code. So nothing found in the root. So if you want something to be there in the root, what you can do? In my 63A, if you want something to be in the root, right? So define, let's say, the home. So I'm just gonna say return me. So I'll directly say some HTML code snippet like this. Welcome to LMS. So at the rate app.route the root. So let me now rerun this program and see what's gonna happen. So what you see is welcome to LMS. So you do have something known as in the root, right? So in the root, you have something and now you would like to request for student, hit enter. So what we see is the student.html coming into action. We modified this, right? The email password with the breaks. So you can have the HTML templates right available here and you can render them from your application in this manner by saying render underscore template, the HTML template. So this is what we got as in the class, right? So tomorrow what we'll do is we'll create one web application where we'll see a registration or you can say the login flow. And what I am going to do is basically to make you guys choose the files like some data sets or some images in your web application, right? I'm going to focus on that as well. So I hope you have enjoyed this session. This is all from my side. Once again, thank you so very much, guys. This is Ishant on behalf of Auribrisys. I hope that you guys will code the same application. Please make sure that you code regularly. Let me push this program over the GitHub. So this is your Flask part 1. Thank you, guys. So anyone with any query can please raise the same. If you have any query before we close the session. Codes I have already pushed over the GitHub. So can I get a smile so that we can close the session? All right, guys. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Good day.